What's up, everybody? It is Brett and Josh here, sitting down today to talk about the current state of Xbox. So, gaming CEO Phil Spencer delivered a behind closed doors presentation on the current state of the company and revealed some new interesting details about what to expect from Xbox moving forward.
That's right, Josh. So listen, if you're interested in Xbox, gaming news, reactions, deep dives, and more, I'm here to tell you you're in the right place. So be sure to hit that subscribe button now to stay up to date on all of our content related to the world of gaming. Did you know that 90% of our viewers aren't subscribed? I know because I looked it up.
Yeah.
So listen, consider hitting the subscribe button. It really helps us out. Hit the like button, hit the bell. And without further ado, let's hop into the story. Josh, what did Phil Spencer say at this behind closed doors investor meeting?
Yes. So, at a behind closed doors presentation to press, Xbox boss Phil Spencer says gaming revenue for the company is double what it was in the 360 era. So,
That's wild.
Yeah, that I literally cannot believe. But apparently that is the case. So Phil Spencer also said that Xbox has more players than ever, that he's expecting more than $1 billion in PC gaming revenue this year, which is pretty
That's
big.
huge.
And he talks about being committed to the attempted purchase of Activision Blizzard. And he says, quote unquote, we're trying to get to solutions with regulators. Any comments on this specifically?
Yeah, I think that's surprising considering we thought Xbox was down so bad
Yeah.
with no games. They are thriving right now, which is good for them.
Yeah.
I love
Apparently.
Phil.
Yeah. I still want to know how much they're spending on Game Pass, which
Yeah.
they always conveniently do not talk about. Although I guess why do I care? I don't know.
Right. What do you think about the $1 billion in PC gaming revenue this year?
Yeah, I think both well, I think Xbox realized it first, but I think both Xbox and PlayStation are realizing how lucrative of a market that can be for their
Yeah.
games. Now Xbox, that's Game Pass. For PlayStation, it's porting first party games to it. But I think they're coming to grips with how lucrative of a market that is, how ubiquitous of a platform it is.
Right. And I'm sure this has to do with, Game Pass, PC Game Pass subscriptions,
Mhm.
as well as just straight up purchases on the Windows Store or the Xbox Store on
Absolutely.
PC.
Or Steam, Xbox games on Steam.
Yeah, that's true. It's just that's crazy that that money was left on the table for so many years. And maybe it wasn't the case a couple years ago, but there is a market for gaming on PC,
Oh
especially
yeah.
Xbox and PlayStation titles, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
$1 billion they would not have made.
Yeah.
So,
Pretty staggering.
yeah.
It continues here. Xbox Studios boss Matt Booty says they think they've quote unquote turned the corner on game releases. He hints that there are still 2024 games to come that have been announced, and he might also have been hinting at 2025, but it was a bit vague. So he said that his goal is 4 big games a year, so 1 game per quarter, which I think he's talked about in the past, but that makes sense. And if this Xbox showcase that just happened is indicative of that, I think, yeah, if you can deliver those games at a regular cadence with high quality, you're going to be realizing the vision and the promise of Game Pass and Xbox.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
and then Sarah Bond, who's the corporate vice president, who was you also saw briefly on the stage at the Xbox showcase, announced that Game Pass Ultimate for PC is coming to NVIDIA's GeForce Now. So she says, "quote Game Pass members will soon be able to stream select PC games from the library through NVIDIA GeForce Now." End quote, which they announced as part of like the deals to try to qualm the fears of regulators overseas. So
Yeah. How do you feel about that? I know that I just purchased a Samsung TV,
mm,
and the Samsung TV has the Xbox app that allows you to play Game Pass as well,
mhm.
streaming everything. So it seems like Xbox is trying to make Game Pass accessible on every device, which
Oh
is
yeah.
really smart.
Their horse is Game Pass. It's not console gaming. I think that's pretty evident. They want Game Pass on as many devices as possible and have as many people subscribe to it as possible. I think when you think Xbox, you have to think more Netflix than you do like PlayStation or Sony,
Right.
right? They are taking a totally different approach, and that's fine as long as the games are really good and it works. And it seems like they've pretty much they have the tech there at this point with cloud gaming and getting it on different devices and stuff like that, which will undoubtedly just continue to get better. And I think, I mean, I think they would even try to get Game Pass onto things like the Switch
Yeah.
and Nintendo's next platform, and even PlayStation. Although I doubt PlayStation's willing to play ball with them.
Yeah. I mean, you have to consider like that's going to be another marketplace basically for
Correct.
people to play games not on in your ecosystem. So
Right.
Sony would be giving money away to Xbox
Right.
in that case.
And that's not to say that they're not going to make consoles. whether they're not going to have a next gen console. I'm sure they already obviously have one in R&D. Um, but it's just to say I don't think it's going to be their main focus, right? They're going to
Right.
try to compete with subscription services rather than to compete directly in the console space, if you
And
will.
we saw this directly. I mean, Phil Spencer's comments after the showcase, he basically said, "We are not interested in doing a iterative console for
Right,
Xbox. We're fine with the Series S and the Series X. They are releasing the new Series S, which is
right,
fine, a new black one with more storage, but
right.
they said they're committed to the two models that they have right now. It's very obvious they're not worried about it.
No, and the next, I would be surprised if the next console we got from them was, like he said, anything iterative with the series consoles. I
Yeah.
think the next console we get from them probably won't be for announced for at least another 2 to 3 years, maybe more, and it will be their next generation console. It's not going to be some sort of interstitial.
Yeah.
Whereas I think conversely on the PlayStation side, you will see that pretty soon.
I would not be surprised if Xbox dumps the Series X model of having a really powerful console and goes strictly Series S style,
Yeah,
slimmer, less powerful console and PC. I mean,
right,
considering $1 billion in revenue
right.
this year alone in PC, uh, I wouldn't be surprised if they, or maybe they start selling, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but Xbox PCs, like pre-built that are just
Yeah,
literally home computers. I
I
don't know.
don't think that
That's
I
how
don't
I
think
see
that
it.
sounds ridiculous at all.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even be surprised if they create a console that's dedicated just for streaming. Like here is
Yeah.
your Game Pass box.
Well, they had one in development. I forget what it was called, and it was canceled.
Hmm.
Phil Spencer actually had it in the background of one of his videos. You know
Oh,
how he does
okay.
those videos at his house?
Yeah,
He had it there, so you could see it. But
yeah.
yeah,
I wonder if they didn't cancel it because, well, I guess I don't know how well that would sell, but maybe they came up with another idea or started developing something else that's smaller and even more ubiquitous, almost like a Fire Stick or something like that, like an Amazon
yeah,
Fire Stick, but for Game Pass. But also,
right.
if it becomes super ubiquitous and it's like Netflix, where it's like on every single device, then it kind of quells the need of even doing something like that.
Yeah, and they're smart for getting into it now because Sony's not doing this. So every
Wow.
TV is going to have an Xbox app that you can do this. You know what I mean? They're getting their foot in the
Yeah.
door. So
Yeah, they're operating in their completely pretty much separate market, and I think that you'll just continue to see that divide more and more and more and more as we go on. And then I think there's a future where Xbox is operating in their own kind of sphere, Nintendo is operating in their own kind of sphere, and
yeah,
PlayStation is operating in their own kind of sphere while trying to also piss on everybody else's parade.
right. Shout out to Xbox, Phil Spencer. I mean, we were literally like so down on them a
Mhm.
week ago, and now everything is completely turned
Yeah,
around. All we
we're
needed
back.
was they're back, baby. Let them cook, right? We just
Mhm.
needed to see what they were working on, what they had, because things looked very bleak.
Yeah.
So I have faith in Phil. We
Hashtag
shouldn't
faith
doubt
and
him.
Phil.
Yeah, we should not doubt him.
PHAITH, faith and Phil.
Right.